Dear Shonda, dear Stacy, the title of this specific episode, season 2, 5, was Do a Little Harm. You've done a lot of harm to my heart, to my soul, and I just don't even know what to say about it. Guys, stay tuned. I'll tell you what's going on.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This is a song, and if you watch the episode, you know what this song means. And they have definitely let it burn. Guys, I'm Linda Antwi. Welcome back to Station 19 After Show. And I have my fabulous co-host.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. This is Tsahai, and I'm so excited to get into this episode. It is a heartbreaker.
It's a heartbreaker. It has me in my feelings. I have no words right now, but what I do have is a bunch of news and gossip later. I have our fun fire facts segment, and I just have my broken heart just here in my hand. Just broken.
Yeah, you know, I have mixed feelings about this whole episode. I can't even speak.
Right,
because,
that's how I felt.
Yeah, it did surprise me, but I think what surprised me more was Ben's reaction. So we'll get into it.
We will. Well, actually, let's just jump into it. How dare you guys break up Miranda and Ben?
Okay.
How long have I been with you, Shonda and Miranda, to break up Ben and Miranda over him being a firefighter? I get that she has high blood pressure and I get that she's stressed out. Go on vacation, Miranda. Go on a vacation. Don't break up your marriage.
Harsh, Linda. I mean, this is harsh. You know, I have a different perspective. I am all about self-care, and I'm all about, you know, women doing what's best for them. So this is what I loved about this episode. I also have this theory that sometimes guys don't show feelings at all. So to see Ben so broken up, it was surprising. But I love the fact that they wrote this into the script. So it was, my feelings about this are a little bit different. I think this is actually, and you keep saying, you know, they're broken up, but that means like you don't have hope for them to reconcile.
Right.
They didn't get a divorce. They're just taking, you know, she's taking a sabbatical, like she said.
Okay, so what I'll say to that is I've been with Shonda for a very long time, since day one, Grace.
Same
and
here.
Every single show, every single spinoff, and I know how this ends. So I will say I'm hopeful
Okay.
that it's just a break.
Okay.
But being in Shondaland, this seems to me that it's gonna be it's gonna be a divorce, or there's gonna be a triangle involved. There's something gonna happen that's major and drastic, and for him to be out of the house is not a good sign. My personal opinion.
Okay.
Just off of seeing so many episodes of everything that they do.
I know. I'm just trying to keep hope alive. You know, they're everyone's like
Keep
favorite.
hope alive.
Exactly. They're everyone's favorite couple who hates to see the breakup of a happy home. And I think I'm just in denial. I don't want this to happen. So I'm trying to be optimistic.
And I love that. I love that about you.
Thank you.
I am bitter Betty over here. I'm so upset because I want Miranda. Guys, do you remember on Grey's Miranda's happy little ending with Ben where there were candles and lights and you were like, finally, yes,
Memories.
Miranda can be happy. And now look where we are. Look where we are.
I know. Those were happier times.
They were happier times. But moving on, let's talk a little bit about Jack and Dean. So we saw last episode how Jack kind of opened up to Dean about his background and kind of being a ward of the state. And this week we see Dean kind of being a little like closed in, which we've talked about. He is.
Yeah.
But he finally opens up to Jack about his background and I'm assuming that he comes from a wealthy family because he said he's going to be cut off not only financially, but from the family and like holidays and all of that stuff.
Right.
And I thought, wow, this is really interesting how the two of them were best friends, but they never talked about their backstories. And just like how you said, some guys like keep all that stuff private.
Exactly.
But we're starting to learn a lot about who they are as individuals besides their firefighter, and I think that they're going to be really good for each other.
I agree. It was funny how Jack mentioned that he had never really had a home. And he immediately made himself comfortable and started rearranging furniture and just got right into Dean's place. So I thought that was really funny because it's like he just hit the ground running.
Yeah, I saw it a little different. I saw it that it now makes sense to me why he was always coming over. Is because if he was raised in a group home, he's used to around being around people, and so he's not with anyone when he's not at the firehouse. So he's always coming over to Dean's. That's how I read it.
Okay.
And then when they were talking about how he's not sleeping and he's rearranging furniture, is because he's not settled yet. So that's kind of how I read it. But
it could be either way because just to see him, I think when you move into a new space, you're trying to find your way. So rearranging the furniture was him trying to fit the pieces into the puzzle of this new space.
Yeah, I agree. And then we have Maya and Jack, and these two were hilarious to see this episode. Completely competing, but what I thought was interesting that Jack kind of threatened her. Like, there can only be 2 lieutenants at a firehouse, and you know, if you're coming for me, I'm coming for you. Basically, was what he was saying.
Right.
And she was like, "Bring it, bring it on." And I love to see the banter over the girl at the drills and the CPR training, and I was like, okay, Maya, I see you. You're bringing it all the way up right now.
Yes, Maya has the eye of the tiger.
Yeah, she's like in competition mode.
But the funny thing is, like, she didn't approach him in that way. He stepped to her with this aggressiveness, and so I felt like it showed that he was threatened. She wasn't threatened at all because she didn't feel the need to even have to say anything like that to him. Here she is, minding her own business, filling out her own paperwork, and he has to come. And I think the interesting thing was to see how people use mind games with each other, because I think that's what he was doing, like immediately trying to throw her off mentally, then so that it could throw her off throughout the process.
I think he felt threatened a little bit as well because she didn't tell anyone. So all of a sudden you want to have the job that I have and the job that Andy has, but you're not telling us who are supposed to be your family. And even though he's like, I know that you and I are not close, but dude, that wasn't cool.
But it's not like she would replace them, right? Like, it'd just be another lieutenant within the station.
I mean, I think so, but he did say in the episode that there's never 3 lieutenants at one station.
Which I think alluded to maybe somebody having to go. Maybe Maya will go elsewhere so she can shine at another station.
Listen, we're going to talk about some things in predictions. Moving on to Travis and Grant. So we saw last episode that Travis was really worried about his relationship. So what I thought was interesting first was that Travis felt that Grant was too attentive. And then this episode, he was like, there's no spark, and I'm worried that, you know, we're kind of drifting apart, and they really have not been having a lot of sexy time. They've been scheduling their sexy time. So we see here how he really reaches out to everyone. He reaches out to Vic and to Ben, and like, what should I do? Like, what should I do to spice up my relationship? And then when Grant comes for his dry cleaning and he sees Captain McSexy, Travis got so insecure about that.
Yes, which was super cute. But sometimes you need to see that your partner is attracted to others to step up your game. But
Fair
think
enough.
about it, you know, like when a woman has a baby, you have to wait before being intimate. So maybe that will cause the delay with, you know, them having that usual spark that couples normally have, because he was injured, you know. So, you know, maybe Grant was kind of handling him with kid gloves at times and being nervous. I love the fact that he, when Grant met Sullivan, he was like, my name is Gravis, which I thought was super cute.
Yeah, I loved it. But turns out everything is okay. They just needed their moment.
Yes.
And you know what's so important, guys? Communication. Just
True.
talk it out. They talked it out and they were fine.
But you also have to remember, when they first met, Travis was the one saying, hey, we have to take things slowly. So now here he is trying to speed things up. So, okay, it's like Grant had to like shift his mindset to get on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we saw, I always like to touch on Andy and Maya. And we saw, you know, their relationship. And we've talked about this in earlier episodes, but the relationship and how it's developing, and
Mm-hmm.
how I think Maya still has to lay some boundaries for Andy down, because I think that there is that little bit of rivalry, and she mentioned she doesn't want to get that beast to come out in that competition
Right.
to wreck their friendship. And even when Captain Sullivan alluded to, you know, you guys have a special bond.
Yes.
Don't let this place break it. I think that that was alluding to what's going to happen, or a foreshadow to what's going to happen in the future with them, because we've started to see lots of breaks in their friendship because of this job.
Yeah. You know, Maya is a beast in one way, and Andy is a beast in another way. You know, Maya does have that sports type of background, but Andrea is like, you know, she grew up in this environment. She's not scared. Nothing. She's not used to anyone even really challenging her, because she's used to being the best all the time. So I think we're gonna see these two strong female characters and these two friends. Their friendship is shifting, and what I like seeing about that is that that's real life. You know, sometimes you and your friends, you could be tight one minute and then something can happen. You could be going through your own thing, and then just you need to pull away, or you need to keep things private. You don't need to tell them that you're applying for the lieutenant position, because your friends and family don't need to know everything.
Oh, wow. And speaking of needing to know everything, guys, you need to know about what's going on here at AfterBuzz.
Definitely. What up, AfterBuzzers? Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about notifications, don't be, because those are optional. So hit the subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments. We'll thank you on air right here, right now. And for now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yes. And guys, if you have Spotify, you can now listen to us in your car, on Spotify, on iTunes. So really do check us out. Make sure that you leave comments, and 5 stars all across the board.
Exactly.
So Andy and Mia. Yeah. And we actually did see, and they've talked about it, and we've talked about it in News and Gossip in previous episodes. We are going to see a lot of the backstory, and we're going to see this relationship shift and change.
Yeah,
like
because remember in the beginning how when they first met in training, they were already at it.
Yeah.
And I think also, you know what I was thinking about? Andy didn't grow up with a mom. So her relationship to other women, she may be more comfortable around men, because she grew up with her dad and still learning how to communicate with women.
Yeah,
so
it's possible.
She may, having grown up like more like a tomboy, her way of bonding with someone is to be tough with them.
Yeah, it's possible for sure. We're gonna see more of that.
Yeah.
So then we see Andrea and Ryan, and we see them in CPR, and Ryan's really trying to talk to her. Like, I need to talk to you. We need to talk to you. And she's avoiding him with everything CPR related. And finally he's like, I need you, because I've known you for so long. My dad's back in town. I don't know what to do with him. He throws me off. And I was like, oh.
I know, because
that's your person, you know? That's your person, and your person's been avoiding you because it's all messed up, because you guys were doing the deed, and now you're not doing the deed, but you guys were close from childhood. Like, it's all messed up. I just felt bad. And I was like, you know what, Andy, you need to get out of your own head and stop being selfish and be there for your friend.
Exactly, because I think she was avoiding him, thinking that he wanted to talk about the relationship. And he was like, no, miss, I need to talk about my dad, like some other things.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, there you go, Andy, again, thinking everything is about you.
Yeah.
Here it is. Ryan has some real life issues, and he needed some
Right,
help
he needs his friend.
Yes.
It is not always about you, Andy. Jeez. And then, okay, Vic and Ripley. Listen, I called this, but it was beautiful to see it come out. So we see Vic get all crazy, weird. We see them making googly eyes at each other.
Waving at each other.
Right, all of that in CPR. And then we see them have that moment in the kitchen. And we see Vic acting all like she doesn't know what to say and all of this. I was like, oh, she really does dig him. And so all of that screaming she was doing about earlier on in previous episodes, and seeing him like out of uniform and kind of bonding over trauma.
Yeah.
She's really made her look at him different, I think. And then what happens? She invites him to Dean's birthday, and I wrote it down.
I think I did too.
And I was like, yes. And I was like, this right here. So she's like, she basically said, yeah, you know, you don't think I just invited you and you're just gonna have a good time. You have to, I came here and you're gonna work. You have to work for your cake. And the cake was chocolate cake. I was like, go ahead, Vic, handle it. Handle your business.
And then, but Ripley's all like, I'd be happy to.
Yes.
I was like, okay, Ripley.
And then at the end, what do we see? We see the two of them in bed together.
Now, what's interesting is, isn't there a bit of an age gap between the two of them? I'm not saying that's but it's just interesting to see that play. They're two unlikely, like you wouldn't expect these two people to get together.
I don't believe that for a minute.
No?
Love is love.
Yes,
Lust is lust. And
love and lust are two different things.
Listen.
So what do you think's going on here? Love or lust?
I think for right now, she's lusting.
Right.
And I think it's going to turn into love, but we can talk about that in predictions.
Okay.
I want to get to one more person, Captain Sullivan, because this episode was really about him.
I know.
And we find out that him and Lucas, which is the chief, used to be best friends and used to be partners. They kind of grew up together in the firehouse. We even saw Pruitt back then, and Pruitt was a captain before they were captains.
Right.
And we see his wife, Claire. They come to an accident. Claire's dead, and Ripley's the one that made the call that perhaps made her pass. We don't know. Like, we don't really know, but we see the history of these two and where they are today. And I was like, wow.
I know. We understand why Sullivan is the way he is.
Yeah. Why he's super regimented. Why it seems like he has no friends. Why he's having a moment that day and fighting with the boxing bag and all of that stuff. I was like, oh, okay, we're starting to see your backstory now, too.
Yeah.
And you've been through some things. You not only lost your wife, you lost your best friend.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I loved when he said, forget your birthday to Dean. Like,
yeah.
It just showed where his mindset is. And it shows you how, like, a date can represent two different things. Here it is, a birthday is supposed to be a celebration, yeah. So that's kind of what it was for Dean, but for Sullivan, it was actually like a day of mourning for him.
Yeah.
And the fact that Ripley made that call, because the wife was like, I guess she was unconscious, so there was a possibility of her surviving if maybe she didn't get that medicine.
Iodine.
Yeah, that medicine she was allergic to. So it's like he's still holding on to that and blaming him. That's a long time to hold a grudge. But I mean, do you ever
get over the loss of the love of your life?
Exactly. Like, he was like, she is my world. I was like, dang.
Yeah. It's crazy. Guys.
Do you think he's going to be mad when this whole relationship between Ripley and Vic comes out? Is Sullivan going to... Oh, I'll hold it for predictions.
Let's hold it for predictions.
Okay, because I was like, wait a minute.
Let's get into a bit of news and gossip, guys. We have some great news and gossip. So on this first item for news and gossip we're pulling up, we see Dean, and it says, listening to your coworkers spill the tea. And you know that we do that at our jobs all the time. Like, what's going on here? I just thought that this was a powerful photo of Maya, because she really is stepping up, and we saw that in episode 4 and in episode 5, where she's really being positioned as a leader. This is a cute one. Do you remember from 4?
Yes.
The fire shots were very on brand. And, you know, these 3 girls, they hang out outside of shooting. So I just thought this was a very cute girl power picture. And then the next one, we've got a couple of models here. And this station is, the caption underneath is, we have some models in the station. And we see Captain Ripley, and we see Andy just working it out. Love it. And then the next one we have up, I just love this. So this looks like a table read, and it just says family gathering. And you see Stacey McKee there, and you see all of the cast, and they're all beautiful. And I think they really just love each other too, offset as well. Like, that's the vibe I get. What do you think?
I agree. Like you said, they're family in the fire station, and as you can see from this, they're a family outside of the station as well.
This next one really just hurts my heart because Miranda and Ben, Halloween yesterday, guys, and he said that this was his favorite witch ever. So you better work it out, you two. Work that out. Work it out. That's all I have to say. And then I think we have one more. We don't. Let's move on to Fire Facts then.
All right.
This is one of my favorite segments.
This is a great segment.
Yes. So for Fire Facts, the first fact I have for you, fun fact, 90% of wildland fires in the U.S. are caused by people. And according to the U.S. Department of Interior, it's caused from campfires being left unattended, burning debris, discarded cigarettes, and intentional acts of fire. So 90...
Ripley, right?
Yep.
And Sullivan is over here still mourning his wife, and he's going to see the man who he feels like
lost his work wife at the station. So I think it's going to be an issue. I think that Maya and Andy are going to have a big follow, and it's going to affect their relationship at home, living together.
True.
And I think that the Captain Ripley is going to continue to promote and focus on Maya over Andy, and I think Andy's not going to be able to deal with it. And then my last prediction is I think that they're going to bring someone in for Dean. Dean's starting to deal with his feelings and starting to deal with not being such a loner. And we saw him with a temporary girlfriend last season, yes. And I think that there's going to be someone
some
for
more
him.
love in his life. I have another prediction.
Yeah, what is it?
Maya seems to always connect with either Jack or Ryan. I know she is open to dating both men and women, so I feel like what the beef between her and Andy is going to be, possibly the fact that Maya's going to start dating either Jack or Ryan.
I said that last season. It hasn't happened yet, but it's possible.
I think so.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We love having you. Hit us up in the comments and just continue to reach out. You can reach me on social media all over at Linda is So Girly.
And you can find me at Tsahai on Instagram and Twitter. That's SAYHITSAHAI. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here, guys. Till next time, we'll see you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV